Hey guys, Miss Adams here. Welcome to my first video, and we're going to learn about art. We're going to go from the beginning to the end with all the elements and principles. And what are elements and principles? Well, those are all the things that you put together to make beautiful pieces of art. We're going to start with the very first one, which is line, and we're going to create a wonderful Zentangle. If you want to look up Zentangle on the internet, it'll give you a beautiful picture that looks something like this. This is R, a letter R, my first name. And we're going to go through and make all of these beautiful designs on our paper. But we have to start from the beginning. And just like in my art class, I like to start with little tiny thumbnails. What's a thumbnail? Well, they're little tiny pictures. Then you take these little tiny pictures and you move them to a little bit bigger pictures. And from the bigger pictures, you end up with a beautiful masterpiece, hopefully at the end. So starting with line, there's 7 types of line. Some people say there's more than 7, but we're just going to go through the basics, all right? So we have straight, wavy, zigzag, looped like a pig's tail, spiral, dotted, and curved. Now I'm sure if you looked up on the internet and you found types of line, and you look up types of line, they're going to give you tons and tons and tons of them. But we're going to just be working with these. These are the basics. Well, now we're going to start with our thumbnails. I'm going to teach you how to make a Zentangle. So here are the thumbnails. You can go down below and you can print it out, or you can just draw little squares in your sketchbook. So this is how we're going to get started. So we're going to fill these little squares with these types of line. So we're going to start here in this square, and I'm just going to start with straight. What can I do with a straight line? Well, I could draw a diagonal here. What could I do next? Well, what if I went back to my starting point and went up? Back and up, back and up, back and up, back and up. And I have this beautiful design just by using straight lines. Now, what else could I do? Well, I could go back to my diagonal again. And what if I did more? This is where pattern comes in. Another principle of design, not an element, but a principle, pattern. Just repeating, repeating, repeating. It's all about layers. Art is all about layers. It's not just one layer, it's lots and lots of layers. So just using straight lines, I've already come up with 2 different designs. Let's move on to another one. How about wavy? What can I do with a wavy line? Well, I could do something super cool like this, wavy. Looks like something's dripping, right? Now that's one line. Now let's add a layer. What's a layer? Well, let's just keep going with that. Then it becomes a pattern. We could do both sides like this. And then you have something cool, like a design. So I started with one wavy line and I ended up with something like this. So what else could we do? Well, let's just move on to a zigzag. We could do the same thing with a zigzag. I could just do regular, or I can do a variety. Another element, variety. So making this look like a heartbeat instead of just boom, 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 boom makes it more interesting to look at, right? And then I'm going to add another layer to make it more of a pattern. So you're going to be able to do this. You don't have to do mine. I'd like to see what you come up with and what you can do. So that's level, okay, so we did one zigzag, and then we made it a pattern and added another layer. And what would happen if I did this? What if I colored in every other one? If I colored in every other one, it would make it even more interesting to look at, right? Right. course, that takes more time, and I'm trying to be neat, but sometimes when you're going fast, it's not. Okay, so you get the idea, right? So that's zigzag. What can I do with a loop? What can I do with a pig's tail? Well, we could do something sort of like this. What if we went side, from one side to the next side, one side to the next side? And that's going to automatically add some variety. Then I can add another layer by just filling these in, and it becomes a beautiful design. Okay, what about spiral? Well, spiral is just kind of, there it is, right? Well, I could do different sizes of spirals. I can go behind things. You see I'm stopping when I get to that next one. Here we go, stop, continue. How about over here? And I'll just go ahead and fill the whole square with spirals. Different sizes, fat, skinny, different spirals. Now I'm using a Sharpie. You can use a pencil, but I just think Sharpie's better because then you don't want to waste all your time trying to get it perfect. You can't be perfect. What else could we do? Okay, dotted. Well, how about this? What if we have a dotted line, whoop-de-doo, right? Well, let's just keep going with that dotted line, dot, dot, all the way around. You could even go long, short, long, short, long, long, short. Add that pattern in there. End up maybe something like that. That one's just okay. Now what can we do with the last one, curved? Well, what if I did this? What if I did curved in my 4 corners? Moving around the square. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now with the Zentangle, it's important that you sort of keep up your pattern for later. Okay, now that's interesting, I guess, right? But now what would happen if I colored them in every other? Adding that pattern. Every other makes it more fun to look at. And we like to look at fun things, right? Not boring. So there we go. Looks kind of cool, right? Like a target. So those are, what if I started mixing them? Or what if I came up with different things, okay? So, what if I did one of these right here? And then added stuff inside. What if I went with a circle inside here? That would look pretty cool. And then colored. I'm gonna let you do your own. I'm not gonna steal all the good ones, I promise. So that looks kind of neat. And when you're thinking about, let's go to some straight ones. When you're thinking about, what do I want my design to look like? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I want you to experiment. You know what? If you don't like one of the squares, that's why we do the thumbnails, so you can have choice, so you can choose. If you don't like one of those squares, you don't have to do it on the next stage, all right? So what if we did this curved line and this curved line? Now what can I do? Well, that looks nice, but what if I added a straight line in there? That looks pretty cool. What if I kept going? Pretty neat, right? Just by adding lines. What if I did a curved line, almost like a flower or teardrop that comes back to the starting point? And then here's my pattern. Gonna do some more. Fill in the next one. So if I drew one, that might look okay, but if I draw another one on the inside, it'll look even better. We want the best we can do. Okay, so now what I want you to do, what your homework is, before you watch the next video, no cheating, before you watch the next video, I want you to fill up all 36 of these squares, okay? Come up with 36 different patterns. And when we're done with that, on the next video, we're gonna take those patterns and turn them into these designs, okay? Beautiful designs. So remember, you can download this off the page. Down below. You can download this right here, or you can just do it in your sketchbook. Okay, I'll see you next time.